I'm so glad we're going through Crashouts. I'm so glad.
Why?
The term crash out, first of all, comes from crash dummy. That's who Waka Flocka used to be. You remember Gucci Man? Do you remember mixtapes? You remember real underground rap? Ugh. Remember E40? I got an eye boogie in my eye. Yeah.
Tell me when to go. Tell me when to
When
go.
Gucci Man started getting big, right, he was putting out all these mixtapes, had all these people want to rap with him. And then when he came out of prison, they're like, he's a clone. Remember that? Before pre-clone, Waka Flocka came out as the I'm a real hood, I'll murder you. I'm here for murder purposes. He's a crash dummy. You send in Waka, that's it. He has nothing to live for. He likes this shit. We all have that friend. What do you keep him around for? He doesn't follow rules. Right. We all kind of like rules. He doesn't even read. Right. So he's good to go. And my football team had a guy named Royal. They brought him from another school as a troubled youth, right? Okay. Right? And so they were like, hey, he's a great athlete. We can't get him to go to class. So he's never eligible. We have nothing we can do with him, right? Right, okay. We brought him on the team. We gave him Fleischer. Fleischer helped to do all his homework to keep him eligible, you know? And when he went in the game, he just broke rules. Remember I talked to you about the fair catch? Yeah. You know? Constantly did not respect the fair catch. Yeah. Come back giggling after just destroying a man's clavicle. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's a crash out. Okay. You see him waving. Yeah, I saw him wave. Well, then why'd you hit him? That's a crash out. Okay. Let's watch.
So that's a crash out.
Yeah.
The title of this video is the most generational crash
They already know that.
In the animal
That's
kingdom.
why they clicked on the video.
You didn't say hi. You didn't see nothing.
I did say hi.
No, you didn't.
I did say that.
You really didn't.
Run it back. Watch it again. I said all those things.
You didn't.
I believe I did.
I'm skitting.
They don't need to know that. Who am I? Who are you?
This is Casual Geographic.
That's my dog. And we're his favorite reaction. Can you figure out why? Because I haven't yet. Oh, here we go. Play it. Why are we here? Bro, are they just scrapping it out? Oh!
Crash out.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's
we just watched
brutal.
A goose snuff film.
What would you call it? A goose murder. He did something foul to him, but I can't think of what I called it. What I call the crime.
I think they would suspect foul play.
I think they would suspect foul play.
Let me go ahead and take a gander at it.
Yeah, watch the evidence.
Brawl. Because gander is another word involving birds.
Right. We got, yeah.
In case you didn't get that one.
Maybe he has, never mind.
Backyard bully brawl.
No, it's not.
Crash out. Here's the definition, and here's the definition, but in picture.
Right.
And if it's not clear now, it will be by the end of this video. Crash outs exist in all.
That's a crash out.
Bro.
The dude jumping at the judge is a crash out. My favorite one is that guy who's doing the RuneScape, and all these people were debating whether or not he was crashing out. And then you watch the clip. He bought all his material to get 99 crafting in RuneScape. He's got the hat on. Yeah. He's got the fucking vest on.
Yeah, he's
got
prepared.
the music playing.
Hell yeah.
And he starts doing his little thing. He's so happy. And then he gets a notification that they nerfed the way to get 99. They put a cooldown on it.
Damn.
So he was like, he figured it out, and he goes, "Oh, so this is somebody's fault?" Breaks his entire set. He just immediately punches the camera. There's just a freeze frame of punching the camera. Comes back in, he's cracking his keyboard.
Oh my god.
That's a crash out.
Oh my god.
Crash outs exist in all walks of life. You know what they say. Where there's a will, there's a way. For a Chris to get rocked by a Fresh Prince flick of the wrist. But today, we're going to talk about the biggest crash outs in nature. And there's a lot to choose from, so some had to get left off. I won't be talking about hippos, honey badgers, or Cape buffalo. I've said my piece on this roid-raging homicidal hydro horse on steroids. We already know Africa's Black Death is a hunter's nightmare for humans and lions alike. And I have an entire video on this biracial Black Air Force hate month.
So then what are we talking about?
But what I will talk about are rhinos.
Yeah.
As I've said, that rhinos are legally blind, terminally traumatized anxiety tanks that'll buck up to anything from a butterfly to a buffalo. Except I was wrong. Recent studies show that the eyesight of rhinos might not even be that bad. It's just their attitude. Which means that rhino fully punted a warthog purposely
on purpose.
While this one perceived an assault on 8 wheels and still went for a literal headshot. There's a reason why a group of rhinos is an honest-to-God crash, but they're not even the biggest crash outs in Africa. That would be elephants.
Yeah.
Like they're the biggest. Whoever made this up actively helped escort people off the census, which they don't need help doing since elephants flatlined over 600 people last year. It isn't until elephants hit must that they really become crash out kings. Must is when a sudden burst of hormones turns elephants into 12,000-pound drunk lusting frat boys. The word must even comes from the word intoxicated, and a down bad bull's testosterone levels can spike 60 times higher than normal.
Man, you think that's bad? You should see me and my wife off of some Michelob Ultras. You know what I'm saying? We be on one. Lit.
Intoxicated, and a down bad bull's testosterone levels can spike 60 times higher than normal.
60 times, bro.
And that's where the crash out comes in. No animal is safe from an entitled elephant that can't handle rejection. Not even baby elephants. Eating a toddler because his mom won't leave you? Crash out. But the real degeneracy didn't show itself until humans got involved.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's that kind of story. Poaching is evil, we all know it. It's often the older, more mature bulls that get hit the hardest, for obvious reasons. What wasn't expected was removing elephant OGs from the population meant that the younger, immature teenage bulls and must got even more out of pocket. And what do you get when you have unruly 6-ton pests with no father figure to keep them in line?
I was gonna say, fatherless behavior. Where are the father figures?
He's humping a rhino. That's not the direction I thought this was going. I was looking more violence. This is just depraved. You know, I could get along with some good violence. You throw some depravity on top, I'm confused.
Okay, so like...
Yeah.
You know... Never mind.
All right.
I was going to say something so inappropriate.
Let's just go.
There was a period in the 90s where 3 young bulls that got rejected by their own kind, resorting to violating and killing not 1, not 2, not 10, but 63 rhinos. Fatherless behavior for an elephant apparently means turning a rhino from a tight end to a whiteout, and it wasn't until the season more mature bulls were brought back in that the rhino ravaging eventually stopped. And it's not just males that can choose violence.
Rhino ravaging. What'd you say?
Cetus lapidus.
We can end this video right now. I'll turn this whole video off.
I didn't think you could hear me.
My bullshit sensor went off. What'd you say over there?
Were brought back in that the rhino ravaging eventually stopped. And it's not just males that can choose violence. We can't forget that time an elephant traveled across India just to life-deprive a 70-year-old senior citizen while she was getting water. For context, that elephant escaped from the Dalma Wildlife Sanctuary and traveled over 100 miles to the Rape village in Odisha. Being homicidal for over 100 miles straight is already menace behavior. What solidified it was that same herd pulling up to that woman's funeral later that day and paying everything but respects. And that same elephant grabbed her soul-evacuated 0 HP body and proceeded to put her in the negatives. Basically, she got put on a shirt, except the shirt was reversible. And after desecrating her corpse, dessert was destroying the woman's house along with several others.
And that's the kind of energy that I like. Okay? I fully support that. Don't just destroy your enemies. Destroy the memory of them. Grind them into dust and then put that dust into manure and then shoot that manure through a cannon.
There may be different versions of revenge because I quite like the forget about them like they never existed approach, where they live a whole life knowing that they are having no effect on you living your life.
Die.
And then there's that. Let's get a good mix.
Painfully.
Let's get a good mix. You fuck them up real bad, then forget they existed. Remember that time you ripped that guy's body in half? I did what? I don't remember doing that.
Man, crazy. What's that?
What?
What's that Avengers thing where she's like, you took everything from me, and he's like, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah, all right, yeah. That's actually perfect.
Yeah.
So chaos, discord, a little bit of amnesia.
Now, many have said the woman Maya Murmu had it coming and was involved in poaching, and this was a case of an elephant not forgetting or forgiving.
I believe
it. Also could have been someone's grandmother getting murked twice and memed on Twitter all because of RNG.
Right.
We'll never know the why, but what we do know is my favorite animal is capable of crash outs of catastrophic proportions.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And now we got the smallest crash out in the world. When a colony of Calabopsis saundersea ants gets attacked, some of the soldiers will rupture 2 huge poison-filled glands and literally blow themselves themselves up.
Hell yeah.
They don't just
Kamikaze
seppuku
ants.
themselves, they also rain a toxic corrosive glue that either traps the hop ants in place or just burns them alive.
I was about to say, they're actually sticky bombs. If you've ever played, that game Risk of Rain?
Yes.
You can shoot the gun and it sticks the bombs and things when they blow up. That's that ant. It's amazing.
This is also the kind of crash out that I support. I support like most forms of violence.
Right. And revenge.
Yeah.
And sabotage.
Absolutely.
And dismemberment.
Yes.
Disfigurement.
Yep.
And discus golf.
No.
It's self-sacrificing altruistic behavior meant to defend the colony, but that is one hell of an escalation. One species of termite also has a concept of kamikaze themselves, and they have toxic glands that actually grow as they get older. That means the same old worker termites with dull mandibles that can't fight or forage as well as their juniors also carry the most potent explosive backpacks in the colony. So their last act of service involves eviscerating themselves in a rain of internal organs, intestines, and toxins, which proves that the most dangerous crash out is the one with nothing left to lose.
Absolutely.
For reference, that's like breaking into a house and the last thing you see is a senile 90-year-old rushing you with a bomb strapped to their chest. But the wildest crash out might be what P-aphids do once a predator breaks into their home. Because not only will soldiers come together and turn themselves into fleshy fireworks, they'll use their own bodily fluids to plug up the opening. Even if it means they get left outside in past tense. Even if it means they suffocate on their own insides. And even if the process senses subtracts them instantly. It's one thing to self-destruct to backpedal a predator or even after already being eaten, which aphids actually do. Using Flex Seal made out of your own guts for home repairs is exactly the type of behavior this video is about. But if elephants violating the natural order didn't already tell you, the worst crash outs are the ones humans created. And this black Air Force B is the result of one of the biggest oopsies in human history.
What did we do?
Back in the 50s, African bees were brought to Brazil and crossbred with their more domesticated European cousins. The idea was, if they could combine the two, they could create a bee that was more efficient than the Europeans in tropical climate.
They did make it more efficient in a few things.
The problem is always capitalism, because why couldn't you just let the bees make the fucking honey on their own time?
How else am I supposed to get my honey base for my ribs that I now know I can make? If not really angry bees.
And it's crazy because honey's not even good.
Ooh, you have such good opinions for so long, and then you jump off a cliff. Is this you crashing out?
No, honey is nasty.
Stop talking. I demand it as your husband in
is
the sanctity of our relationship. Don't embarrass me like that in front of all these people. Honey Nut Cheerios ain't the shit.
They don't taste like honey.
You're tripping.
They don't taste like honey.
Ginseng and honey? Goated. Little bit of honey on the toast.
I don't even like the honey flavored cough drops, which is real difficult.
Now you're lying. And you don't have to do it.
What's worse than the honey ones is the honey lemon. Ugh. Ugh.
Do I even know you?
While also being less defensive than the African counterparts. But in one of the most consequential f***ups possible, a local beekeeper accidentally released 26 swarms of Africanized bees, including queens. But experts said not to worry, that the bees would either die out in the foreign climate or get bred out of existence by the already present European bees.
They did not.
Yes, but actually no.
By the 60s, they made it across the country. By the 80s, they hit Mexico. By the 90s, they were popping up in the US. And today, the Africanized assault has spread throughout America like a rageaholic rash. And here's the thing with playing God with bees. You better be prepared for hell. These Africanized bees were way meaner than anything this side of the Atlantic had ever seen. They were way more aggressive, much less forgiving, and the same honey merchants that were enough to legitimately punk elephants, that's not a joke by the way, were doing numbers on unsuspecting people. You see, where European bees might send 10 to 20 guard bees after you, the Africanized flying mob will pull up in the hundreds. And where European bees might chase you for a couple feet, the African variety will chase trespassers for a quarter of a mile.
That clip, right, with this bee coming towards the screen or whatever, they tell the story on 100 Ways to Die of a guy who jumped in the water and drowned because the bees kept circling the water and wouldn't leave. For
a couple feet, the African variety will chase trespassers for a quarter of a mile, assuming you even get that far. The irony is, African bees have smaller hives. That means these gangflies weaponize a higher percentage of their hive just to go after you. Add the fact that the very smell of bee venom is like a Batman signal to the rest of the hive, and you realize just how badly that one beekeeper screwed us over. Speaking of venom, you probably know that honeybees die after stinging, since the stingers are barbed and attached to their abdomen, causing attacking bees to literally disembowel themselves. What you might not know is that stinger will continue pumping venom into you long after the bee has become a was. Now that's just doing the most.
I didn't know that.
That's how you get stories of people being chased by vindictive swarms.
Right, that's how they know where you are. Because they hit you with the venom, and it's like a tracking beacon.
Damn, that's crazy.
They kill themselves just to let them know, like, there he is, nigga. I died for this.
Hell yeah.
And they go, we're not going to let it go in vain.
I don't like it, but I support it.
That's also why they bite sometimes instead of stinging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the sting will kill, but the bite will just let you know, hey, man.
Right.
I'm not ready to die yet, but I am willing.
Way, it's proven if you try to duck the fate by jumping in the water, they will wait.
Yeah.
Sometimes with fatal consequences. In 2013, a Texas man died after being stung over 1,000 times, and the beast still had enough malice left over to leave his wife and daughter with 100 apiece. It says a lot that the dietary habits of the Crashout mascot might have helped create one of the most infamous crash crowds in the air.
Yep.
But not all Crashouts are fueled by hate. Some are powered by love. Courting bald eagles will interlock talons and plummet down towards the earth, only to separate at the last possible second. Because apparently feathery foreplay means death spiraling in a questionable game of chicken. Apparently, it's to test each other's fitness as a possible partner. You know, separate the strong from the strongest. Except it does the opposite when the entangled avians crash land into trees, water, or sometimes straight pavement and take each other out the dating pool. And bald eagles mate for life, so where do you even go after your vow renewal turns into a wake that only one of you is conscious for?
Damn.
A study showed that eagles will also death spiral with rivals, so it's really a case of either me or fight me or just don't waste my time. But that makes even less sense, because at least with a mate, the logic is you're trying to find the strongest, most eligible single to spend the rest of your life with.
Right.
Ending death a 2-for-1 BOGO deal because you had beef and literally couldn't let it go is the definition of crashing out. At least when it happens with deer like moose, you know it's really bad luck. But voluntarily interlocking toes just to die with someone you claim to hate, like what's really going on here? But that relationship's nowhere near as toxic.
It's Naruto and Sasuke.
Right. Actually, that's really good.
Naruto. Oh my. People get so mad every time I say that Naruto and Sasuke were super gay for each other. They get so mad.
Hey, man.
I don't know what you want me to say, bro. That's a love story.
You didn't read the manga right.
And also, they don't even like their respective spouses.
Well, Naruto, they did a lot of development with Naruto and Hinata after they decided that he should stop distancing himself from his family's responsibilities by being Hokage.
Yeah.
They showed him as a deadbeat. They show Sasuke as emotionally unavailable. I mean, he lost his arm and his ability to love.
Yeah.
It makes more sense that way. I'm not chasing nobody that long.
It's a very Achilles and Patroclus type of relationship.
Why was he trying to bring him back to the village that bad, though?
That nigga did not want you.
Such a confusing story. They were barely friends.
That's the house sparrows. It's like Tweety listen to NBA Youngboy. It's a honey badger with wings and an op to every other bird, but especially their own kind.
What do you mean?
Okay, so the crashing out is caused by the fact that house sparrows are monogamous and mate for life. They're also serial cheating air strumpets, and 50% of sparrow children born aren't even related to the male raising them. Cheating isn't a foreign concept to birds. Thoughts and prayers out to the penguin that got dogged out, got his cloaca kicked by his wife's boyfriend, begged for her back, got beat again, only to get rejected and bust his a third time. Yet no way he goes out that sad. Male sparrows that suspect their partner of cheating get their revenge by purposely feeding their children less, bordering on starvation. The thing is, he has no way of knowing which chick's actually his. He only goes by how much time the mother spends away from the nest. Basically, imagine your dad starves you within an inch of your life, all because your mom spent the equivalent of 10 extra minutes at the grocery store. But female sparrows ain't sweet either. The difference is she cheats with better genetic quality, or you could say high-value males.
Really?
While the male cheats to spread his seed as far as physically possible. Except that the female catches on to the cheating, she responds by slaughtering his entire family.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about. You try to play me, you're only gonna maybe starve him. I'll kill him. I brought you into this world. I will take you out. Damn.
And it's scientifically proven that butchering the babies offers no advantage to the offending female. It's just pure love of the game. Cheating's never right, but when your get back gets children buried, you have lost the plot. Especially since the females most likely to commit baby cancellation are second wives. As in, they got with the cheater, got with him due to cheating, only to wipe out the entire first family.
She thought she was different and then crashed out. Her friends been saying, I've been telling you he ain't love you like that.
Yep. They don't have in bird language, they don't have the phrase, how you get them is how you lose them.
Right.
So she has to learn the hard way.
No. He has to learn the hard way. If I can't change the game, I'll make the game change you.
Oh my God.
Shit.
So I just thought about it. She also has no way of knowing which chicks are his. That means she really just life retires any baby sparrows she comes across. Yeah, that's a crash out of the highest order. And right up there with them has to be this frog. It's a culinary crash dummy off the fact that the Argentine horned frog would rather choke to death trying to swallow something physically bigger than they are than just give it up. Scientists have found expired frogs with their stomachs torn open out of pure stubbornness. It's a gluttonous breathing pot of greed card come to life. Not only that, they're terrible swimmers, embarrassingly bad jumpers, and yo, they don't even rib it.
Like, you're a frog.
It's our favorite.
Fooled and sold every aspect of being a frog just to moonlight as Jabba the Gut. They can even develop amphibian corneal lipidosis, where they hold on to so much fat they literally accumulate fat deposits on their eyes that blind them. To be fair, it's usually from overfeeding in captivity, but my brother in Christ, even Nakado Avocado put the fork down at some point. Especially since frogs can't vomit, the best this kitchen crash out can do is fully eject their stomachs. But luckily, they're not a threat to you.
Yeah, they push their stomachs out their mouth, which is technically not vomiting. It's kind of cool.
Crash out that the majority of the American audience has to sidestep on a daily basis. Which is funny because the Canada goose nearly got caught in a maternal milk carton due to overhunting and habitat loss. In fact, we fully thought they were out of stock in the 50s, until a small flock was found in Rochester, Minnesota. And with the help of the Migratory Bird Treaty Act in the US and a Migratory Birds Convention Act in Canada, along with conservation efforts, the Canada goose was able to make a comeback. And humanity and geese lived happily ever. Absolutely not. Yeah, the cobra chicken came back with a vengeance. I called the sparrow an airborne honey badger. Nah. It's just barcoded assault with guns. Easily the most undeserved arrogance I've ever seen on an animal. And that's really what it is. This damn velociraptor has some wildly irrational confidence. They're like Family Guy. They nearly got canceled, came back, and by God, you did not miss a chance to punish us for it. Even Sully's heroic landing in the Hudson wouldn't have even been needed if a goose didn't try to run a fade with a plane. Just proof that you can get a lot of mileage at a false, unearned valor. Because it's a bluff. Geese nest on the ground, so they only really can respond to a threat to minor safety by implementing the honey badger method. By raising hell until you meet someone that takes you there. Add the fact that they've managed to lose their fear of humans, and you have a honk-happy threat to national security. I've even read reports of them apparently luring chasing dogs into deep water just to attack and harass them until they eventually drown in exhaustion. To be fair, you could just leash your dog. Oh, also, goose tongue. But yeah, that attitude's a bluff, and they read body language, so act like you've been around a goose before and you'll probably be fine. So why are geese so mean? Yeah, they'd probably be dead if they weren't. Or at least they're not capable of really damaging anything but your pride. Complete opposite of chimpanzees, my word. Probably a top 3 crash out in nature, cause you really never know what could set this chainsaw with thumbs off. Change your hairstyle for the first time in 10 years? Yeah, you just lost your face privileges. Push one of your troop mates a little too far? Call it Kaizen the way you about to get jujutsu jumped. Do a fucking barrel roll? Absolutely not. Not in these parts. Chimps and really primates in general have a sense of fairness. Do something they view as unfair? Oh, buddy. You finna find out why they're the prime ministers of unproportional reactions. This man decided to surprise his former pet chimp with a chocolate cake for his birthday. The real surprise was 2 male chimps getting out and mutilating the man for not serving them a slice first. I'm not gonna list the full extent of his injuries. I have a full video doing that. Just know the first 2 hospitals denied him entry because they literally thought he was a lost cause. Monkeys in captivity have also been known to mob a member of their own for receiving more food than the others. And when I was 8, a chimp temper tantrum nearly had me halfway to Helen Keller. Almost had me rocking the Nick Fury fit. And we cannot forget that time monkeys in India went on a campaign of dropping dogs from roofs after one allegedly attacked a baby of their own. Yeah, primates are some Hall of Fame crash outs. Question is, what could possibly be more destructive? Well...
Oh yeah.
Tigers are easily one of the most vengeful creatures alive. And the moment this striped population control wants you dead, you might as well lease a casket. There's plenty of stories of tigers going from 0 to 1,000. In 2007, 3 teenagers that may or may not have been under the influence taunted 243-pound Tatiana the tiger. Reportedly even pelted her with pine cones from a slingshot. Tati cleared a 12-foot mow, severely mauled 2 of the teens, and killed the 3rd. In 2016, a tiger ripped apart an infamous poacher named Baby only 4 days after his group reportedly shot his mate. In 97, a hunter named Vladimir Markov not only shot a tiger, but had the audacity to steal his kill. As a result, the Whisker John Wick stalked his cabin, tore anything that smelled like him to shreds, including his mattress and bedding, and apparently even demolished an outhouse Markov had used. As you can guess, the story ended around the same time Vladdy did, once a Siberian assassin was there to greet him at his house. And then there
at his crib, bro. He pulled up.
I'ma pull up.
I normally have a lot more sympathy but I'm missing it this week. Don't fuck with him. That's it. The end. I don't know where it went. It's not there.
Right.
The story is that a mother tiger and her cubs had ventured beyond the boundaries of a park and had injured cattle in the process, so rangers went out to capture and relocate the trio. They successfully tranked and removed the cubs, but the mother was nowhere to be found. That was until about right here. The enraged mother cleared a full-grown elephant and managed to mutilate the mahout riding it, taking several fingers with her, and the fury on 4 legs was never seen again. But the most infamous big cat crashout came in the early 1900s, when a tiger dubbed the man-eater at Champawat killed 436 people, giving her the highest human body count of any single animal. And it was discovered that the cause was a cripplingly debilitating tooth injury that forced her to go after easier prey. And that's the thing I do want to mention. I know I had fun with the crash out concept, but really all the tiger was ever guilty of doing was what came naturally. And that really goes for every animal on this list.
It's just unfortunate that when, bred killers practice killing you, they get real fucking good at it.
Yeah. Yep.
Tatiana wouldn't have had to die and take someone's son with her if they hadn't gone and tested her killer. Travis was an overweight, socially stunted, Xanax-consuming time bomb that some woman decided to keep inside as a pet. Even the whole Elefino mess started with poachers destroying and fragmenting their families and probably giving the pachyderms PTSD.
It happens.
I'll joke around and stuff for comedic effect, but I'm not actually out here judging animals by human standards.
And should.
Because he said something real before he got Chris rocked and left with Fresh Prince.
Talk about the tiger went crazy. That tiger ain't go crazy. That tiger went tiger.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you drink water, hug your mother. There's no church in the wild and no judge in the jungle, so don't expect animals to follow either.
Hey.
And I'm gonna see y'all.
Don't forget.
In the next one.
So I like the. Oh, one other thing. Oh no. Alright then. Now, do something else. Before I catch you slipping with my homie. Touch my boy again. Shit. Now, whose video is this again?
It's yours.
Oh, man, totally glad, because I love it. I'm glad he touches on that every single time, because we grew up in the 90s era of education, right? Where we dehumanized animals actively. Like, they don't feel, they don't think, they're dumb, stupid, smelly, we do what we want.
Yeah.
And then we have the transition of, right, so we've massacred millions of this animal.
Yeah.
We should humanize them a little bit more.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it went a little overboard, a little overcorrect, and now we've kind of evened out. A little bit of thought, a little bit of, I'm just a product of my environment.
Right.
I am still an animal.
Yes.
But I react to the world as necessary for survival.
Yeah.
So it's a nice balanced approach. But if you haven't been taught that, maybe some of the jokes you might take a bit overboard. Maybe some of the sympathy you might take overboard. But we just communicate that way because we have a baseline understanding of it's a little bit of both every time.
I mean, animals are going to be animals. And wild animals do not stop being wild animals because we as humans have decided that they're cute and potentially cuddly.
Right.
That's just not how that works.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. I mean, it just is what it is. We have bred some animals to be pets.
Yeah.
And we breed them that way.
Yeah. But that took, first of all, a long ass time.
A long time to do that. And that is mostly not every animal.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, great video. If you feel like crashing out, do it.
Do it.
Flip the cake. If you never tried it, it's a great time. Do it early. All right. That's it. What else you got?
You almost crashed out when you found out that person had hit my car with their door.
I wish. I just wish I could have seen it. Because they must have given it a little extra.
No, they hit the fuck out of my... I'm going to show you all the pictures.
I just wish I could have just talked to him. Grab the back of the neck and just talk. Just conversate. Why wasn't you finna leave a card, nigga? You wasn't gonna leave a card? And I got, I got soft looking hands. It's a solid gripper. I promise you that. They're not going anywhere. We're gonna figure this one out.
Hell yeah.
God, I got mad about that all over. I parked good. And they hit the car anyways.
Turn the camera
If I'm
off.
inside the line...